Hi, welcome to Sue Marie P. My name's Sue and today I'm going to share with you a really easy fruit cake. It's where the dried fruit is all soaked in tea overnight, and then you just mix it with some flour and spices and baking powder. That's it. There's no extra sugar and no butter. I don't know if you're like me, but after Christmas and all the baking that you've done with fruit cakes and puddings, you're left with all these bits and pieces of dried fruit. This is a super handy recipe to have up your sleeve. Many years ago, I used to make it in Australia with Earl Grey tea. I don't really drink Earl Grey that much now, but I drink lots of green tea. So last night, before I went to bed, I measured all my fruit out. So in here, I've got 500 grams, which is about 3 cups of dried cranberries, sultanas, raisins, and currants. And then I boiled my kettle and popped some green tea in here and poured in 2 cups, 500 mils of green tea. Popped a plate overnight, so then it was ready to film today. So I'm going to do whole grain spelt flour, just because I want to be a little bit healthy. But if you didn't want to use spelt flour, just use regular whole grain flour or even just regular flour. So in there, I'm not going to sift it today. I'm just going to pop in 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And I love extra spices, so I've got 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, a teaspoon of mixed spice, and a little bit of ground ginger, half a teaspoon. So then I'm going to throw all of that flour mixture into the fruit. And then I have made this with a flax egg and made it vegan. So all a flax egg is, I've popped one in here. It's ground flaxseed with 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed with 3 tablespoons of water, and then you let it sit for about 15 to 20 minutes until it gets all gel-like substance. I use that all the time when I want to do vegan baking, and it's really perfect. You can't even taste it, just adds extra fibre. But today I'm just going to add an egg. So I've got 1 large egg, and I'll crack it here and give it a little bit of a mix before I pop it into my bowl. And that's how simple it is. If you want it to be extra fancy, you can add some nuts, but I'm just doing this simple way. And it's a really great one to have on standby. I kind of also call it my bare cupboard cake. You know, when you just want to whip up a cake for afternoon tea or morning tea, and you don't really have much in the house, then this is perfect. And it's a great recipe if you're dairy intolerant or you're trying to avoid lactose. And I find because you've got all the sweetness in the dried fruit, you don't need the extra sugar. Okay, I've already prepared my baking tin. I've just got a small loaf tin here, greased it and lined it with paper. My oven's on, it's already preheated, 160 degrees C fan forced, 180 if you've got no fan, and I'll pop the Fahrenheit measurements above as usual. If you're clicking on the first time, welcome. I love sharing easy recipes, old favourites that you can make with regular flour or with spelt flour, and a few other little bits and pieces that are my favourites that I just love sharing with the rest of the world. So now that's ready to bake. My oven's hot. So I'm going to bake it for about 20 to 30 minutes. And before it starts getting too brown, I'll pop some foil on, and then we bake it for an additional, it needs to go up to about an hour. So about another 30 minutes. But just keep an eye on it. Check it after the hour's up with a skewer, and if it comes out clean, then it's done. And then stick around to the end because I'll show you what it looks like on the inside. Our 30-minute timer is about to go off, so I'm just going to grab the cake out and cover it with foil. Stops it from browning too much and cracking. Now I'm going to pop it back in for 20 to 30 minutes. I'm going to check it at 20 minutes. Timer's gone off. And let's see if it's cooked. It's such a weighty cake with all the fruit in it. Still a bit sticky. I'm going to keep it in there for another 10 minutes or so. And then I'll cool it for an hour before I cut into it to show you. So we're back with our cake here, and I've let it cool for about an hour and a half. So I'm going to cut into it. It's still a little bit warm, but I think it'll be fine enough to show you. This is the kind of cake that gets better with age. Look at that, it's jam-packed full of fruit. And you can even pop a little bit of butter on it if you wanted to be a little bit more naughty. So let me just cut a little bit of it. Check out all that fruit. It's such a simple recipe. Fruit, tea, flour, a few spices, and you've got a fruit cake. Let me know if you give this recipe a go. Hit the thumbs up if you've liked this video. Pop a comment below. Let me know what kind of tea you're going to put in your fruit cake, and I'll add a few other recipes up above, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.